Tobago updates.
Good morning, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. I am Chanel Felix, and as we continue with this morning's conversations, we are talking about that October 2024 Carnival. And if you have not been here on the ground or in the environment to feel the vibe is alive. We've had a number of band launches taking place even on Thursday of last week. We saw the official launch of the Tobago Carnival, and things are heating up. We're seeing a number of events taking place on the island right now, and the spirit of Carnival is in the air. As the spirit is in the air, there is also a perfect storm brewing. This morning I am speaking with Mr. Atiba DeLeon of Arcadia Mass Band, and you guys are having your band launch very soon. Good morning and welcome to Tobago Updates.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
All right. So talk to us about this perfect storm.
Perfect storm. That's our theme for 2024 Tobago Carnival. It's a lot of storytelling, right? It's a lot of history behind it. Anybody who knows how Arcadia operate, we like to dive into that aspect of it. So the perfect storm is just that, where the island was under some stress, and we had to it took the perfect storm to really breathe life back into it.
Right. Well, I mean, that feeds into my next question, because I was about to ask, where is Arcadia now? We saw Arcadia very present, very prominent in that first rendition of the Tobago Carnival. Then you guys took a step back last year, and now in 2024, we are seeing that you are coming forward with the Perfect Storm. Tell us about the journey to the Perfect Storm.
Right. So Arcadia took a lot of how to put it, some transition, some evolution, some different aspects of Arcadia. So in 2022, we were present, very present. We were out there on the road. We brought that year we did Ancestry and Legacy. However, last year we took a step back and more or less scanned the landscape, understanding that what the Tobago Carnival really needs and how can we immerse ourselves in it, but outside of that, what is the direction of the band? We found that we don't want to be caught up in just doing what everybody else is doing. And how do we carve and shape our own identity? And we had to do a lot of house cleaning, a lot of deep introspection, and we are back here now with a different taste or twist on how mass should look for us. So we are very cultural. So this year, early up this year for February Carnival, we were very present with kiddies, right? Bringing some sailor mass, that traditional aspect of it. And for October, expect that same sort of settings where we are more on the traditional side. However, but we have learned and formulate our own product, which will be very unique to the carnival space, not only in Tobago, but globally.
Okay. And talk to us about some of your partners this time around, as well as your executive that is working to bring forward this Arcadia Mass.
All right. So we have a lot of partners that we have on board. Some I will say. So for example, like we already have a long-lasting relationship with the TTT network, Next 99.1. We also have those partnership with the Angostura, those partnerships. And this year we are doing a lot of partnering with, for example, Blue Heron, which is a local company in Tobago here. Our committee, we have Miss our chief project officer for this entire thing. We have Miss Kenorian Smith.
Okay.
And then we have our creative director, which is some of the persons. We have a nice big team. Our creative director this year that charts the way and how we put out our stuff, which is Keelan Whitlock. And then we have our designer, our dedicated designer, in Aaron, right? He's from Trinidad, right? But bringing that our vision to life.
All right. And what type of responses are you expecting from the Tobago public to Arcadia this time around?
Um, I don't have any expectation, honestly. However, this product that we are putting out this year is very dear to our hearts. It's something that we work from before last year to now. We've been working on to make sure we get it right. However, what I do expect is for persons to now be somewhat blown away, or if you enjoy creativity and you enjoy, that uniqueness in mass, I think it's something that persons will be appreciative of, and it's something I believe that can carve the way how Tobago Carnival is viewed.
Right. So come this Saturday, you guys are having a band launch at Toys Fuzzy Panda that's opposite the Gulf City Mall in Lowlands. Tell us a bit about that start time and what we can expect from the launch.
Right. So one, we expect to start on time, which is at 9 p.m. Right. Our that launch will be taken in the form of how to put it, a fashion show, a rip the runway type of settings. It will be a two-part launch, which will be one from a viewing party, and then one of a catwalk band launch type settings, but not the typical band launch with a stage and a thing, but more or less like a rip the runway type setting.
So more of a fashion show type of display.
Correct, and that's the model that we want to move forward with. So we have a viewing party, which is the actual launch, which is somewhat of some theater there.
Okay.
Right, so we are bringing some theater into the carnival, and something I think persons can be excited and look forward to.
All right, that's very interesting. It's interesting that you're bringing a different spin, to how the mass is being displayed. Why do you think I mean, you spoke about it. So you spoke about the fact that you guys are trying to create your own lane, create your own identity, and have a specific position in the mass market here in Tobago. So when you talk about that level of positioning, where do you guys want to position yourself?
Right, so I'll just give you a brief synopsis. So, for example, we had multiple persons came to us that wanted to do sections and so on, and we had some conversation. Some of those things didn't really come to fruition because of our direction, because we are very strong and very firm in the direction we are heading. The identity we have taken up is something that we are very passionate about and we refuse to compromise on. So positioning in the landscape of Tobago, to put it in for better words, think about tradition, traditional mass, we know about those bands, and think about the modernity of the carnival, which is we know about the sexiness and so forth, and marrying the two. And my creative director and my chief project officer, all three of us came up with a term that we call finding a sweet spot. And that sweet spot of marrying both the traditional aspect, which is the Peter Menchel type mass, and marrying that with that modernity of the what people now have, the bikinis and feathers. So that marriage there in between there is where we have found our sweet spot, and it's something that we are very passionate about that could change the way mass is viewed globally, not only in Tobago, but how people look at it. And from my viewing of those costumes thus far, I'm normally not easily moved with mass because I've seen a lot, but I am moved. And
right. I think one of the things that Tobagonians are looking forward to seeing where Carnival is concerned, especially as we try to develop the festival, is a certain level of, well, for me, I can speak for myself particularly, is a higher level of quality in the creativity of the costumes that we're seeing. right? And not just settling for a simplistic homemade looking type of costume because it's the big one, we're small and we're just starting. People want to see that level of intricacy in the designs and complexity in what we're seeing displayed in the costume making.
I could second that, and that is one of my pet peeves. Like, going to band launches, seeing costumes, not only in Tobago but globally. It's like somebody tell you it's a bird, somebody tell you it's a plane, and all have the same look. And something that people are complaining about. So I'm telling you this is a plane, but I'm not seeing a plane. I'm not seeing engine. I'm not seeing nothing. Nothing looking like a shape, nothing like a plane. And one of the problems I have faced and I am very passionate about is if we have a theme and this is the section, I want it to look like what it's supposed to look like, as in, but also the creativity level is something I refuse and my team refuse to compromise on. Is from that creative standpoint, we want pieces that when a person play mass, they mustn't even want to throw away their headpiece, their back piece. There's something that they must keep in the living room, and they might have as a souvenir because of the creativity behind it. And that's the direction we have gone in terms of where we moving forward. Anything that we do, it must have that level of creativity behind it.
All right. And as we wrap up this morning's discussion, is there anything you want to say to Tobagoans to encourage them to come out on Saturday night, starting at 9 p.m. at Toys? Now, we know Toys is kind of a compact space. How is the layout going to be? Where a person's going to park? Where are they going to stand to view? What type of numbers are expected to be there?
Right. The settings for Toys is one of our intimate settings. Primarily when you have a band launch, some band launches when you have stage and so on, we find that the costume sometimes is being lost. We find that the patrons might be liming and then studying what's going on. We want to have that intimate setting. So part of the half of the car park thereabout is where we will be stationed, set up. The compact space in and around the space you will have runway, and that runway is where the models will now portray that costume, and so that person could see those costumes up close and personal rather than viewing from the back of the crowd on a stage. And the lighting and all these things, it might dazzle your eyes, but you're not getting to see the intricate details and all that nice stuff that you could actually see yourself in this stuff. And also what you could expect is what we have done with our costume is cater for all body types, right? So how we put it is a unique, modern, traditional sexiness that we have, which is a person who have a child, 2 children, they could afford to play the young professional who may not want to be overly exposed because he might be a teacher, he might be a lawyer, doctor, and don't want to be viewed that way. We have those options available and they will be on display. And you're slim, you're thick, everybody could feel included.
All right. Well, thank you so much for that. We had Atiba here. Good morning again, and thank you for being here on Good Morning Tobago.
Thank you for having me.
And we look forward to the perfect storm on June the 29th, which is this Saturday night at Toys at Lowlands, opposite the Gulf City Mall. Guys, be sure to come out and be a part of the experience of Arcadia's presentation for October Carnival 2024. Unfortunately, this is where we wrap up this morning's discussions. We want to thank you for being a part of our conversations this morning. I want to thank you to the 2 T.P.P candidates that were here this morning, Ms. Natasha Ann Second, as well as Mr. Lance Auguste, who was here and vying for different positions on the executive in their internal elections on Sunday. So again, I want to thank you guys for being a part of the conversation. Thank you for liking, sharing, and commenting, and doing all that you have been doing to make Tobago Updates the #1 broadcaster on the island of Tobago. Thank you.